When I was asked to address this conference, I must admit I was quite reluctant in the beginning to accept the commission. And that's because in the church we've had, I think, an overdose of either men speaking about women, or men talking down to women, or a lonely celibate man philosophizing on the nature of woman. And after all, I'm a man. You know, I was told that the Pontifical Biblical Commission, that has now been officially silenced in a way, as you know, because it's totally under control of Congregation of Doctrine. The final straw, apart from their coming to the conclusion there were no objections to the ordination of women in Scripture, was when they were asked the question, why was man created first? And they said, well, God had to make a draft copy before he made the final thing. Anyway, I'm not apologizing for speaking as a man, because I do believe very strongly that the reform of the church, including also the participation of everyone into the ministry, will not happen unless it is done together by men and women. I also want to acknowledge the enormous debt that I have in me of women who made me who I am. We're a bit short of time, but I could fill an hour talking about them. But in particular, I want to mention my mother, who was such a loving person, but also very outspoken always, very loyal to the church, but so loyal that she always had to phone up the parish priest after sermons and say, how could you say this about women? And so I feel I carry her in me. And also I want to especially think of Jackie, my wife, whose insights and whose Christian experiences are really part of my life also. And as I said, many other people, women, I have known. I think this distinction between men and women is also grossly exaggerated. You know, when we come to heaven, nobody will bother anymore, really, whether you're a man or a woman. I'm not denying there are differences, and they're vital. That's what we are fighting for, that the charisms of women are fully included in the riches of the ministries we should have in the church. There are differences, thanks be to God. But on the other hand, these differences have also been grossly exaggerated. Now, having said this, the last little preliminary thing I want to say is that I've seen it as my task in discussion with the organizers of this meeting to be a bit of the devil's advocate and to tackle some of the hard questions of what really we as an international movement of movements should be discussing, and tackling also perhaps some of the more controversial issues. And I hope you'll accept me as I am. You know, the big problem in the church is we are no longer accepted for what I am, but I'm Dutch. I suffer, you know, often Dutch people, we say things too strongly. That's the way we speak.